I'm going to do a video in relation to Baroness Michelle Mone now. Now, I was a police officer for 18 years and I have acquired evidence that links Michelle Mone's companies and associated companies through to this fraudulent system. That is the largest fraud ever in the history of mankind, and it shows that the government has been utilising the unregulated companies house registration system as well as forged bank documents to commit and defraud the crime in relation to taxpayers' money, public taxpayers' money, and have been for decades. I actually believe that this system of fraud, and I've got lots of evidence to say why, is the root cause of most of the world's problems, including war, drug trafficking, child abuse, you name it, it's linked through this. I'm not saying Michelle Mone is directly linked through to all of this. I'm just going to show you evidential connections in relation to it. Now, it all can be resolved easily through full regulation of companies house registration. Watch all of my videos and it will all make sense, okay? So let's look at some articles first. You probably all know about this anyway, but this is an article by The Guardian. It says the full inside story of the Michelle Mone PPE scandal. PPE Medpro and partners made, let's zoom in a little bit so you can see it a bit more now. Medpro and partners made documents related to PPE, Medpro and Mone had helped to secure a place for on a VIP lane that the government used to prioritise politically connected suppliers at the start of the pandemic. Another article here revealed the full inside story of Michelle Mone PPE scandal. PPE Medpro and partners made as much as 100 million profits, at least 70 million from PPE Medpro, contracts taken offshore. Small electronics firm behind supply of gowns for NHS, yet yacht and racehorse purchased after PPE deal. Watch my Nicola Bulley video, you'll see that this links through to a yacht company and private wealth company. Tory peer and husband now selling yacht and properties. Mone takes leave of absence from Lords and may leave the UK. This is back in December, I believe, 2022. Another one here. Tory peer Michelle Mone secretly received 29 million from VIP Lane. Now, if this is public taxpayers' money, which it will be, and that money has been obtained through a fraudulent system, which it looked, now I've got overwhelming evidence to suggest it is, then it is a crime, okay? And we do not have to pay taxes if we have evidence that our money is being used in crime. Now, I want to pay my taxes, I always have, providing it is being used legitimately and in the right way. If it's being used in a crime and a criminal process, we don't have to pay our taxes. All right, it's as simple as that, providing the evidence is there. This is all overwhelming evidence now. And you'll see, watch all of my videos and it will all make sense. So let's look at PPE Medpro Limited. These are the company's house registration records for that company. They were incorporated in 2020. This is now evidential documents now proving everything. PPE Medpro Limited is got a company secretary who is in the Isle of Man, resides in the Isle of Man according to this. Now, the Isle of Man, as you know, is is an offshore tax haven, so people can feed money through to accounts over there if they have that facility to avoid paying taxes. Obviously, if big companies aren't paying taxes, it means more members of the public do to maintain society and the country, and the poor people that are working for large conglomerate companies linked to this are forced to pay their taxes through the PAYE system. Okay. So they're stuck in the system. So if the taxation system is causing them to suffer, then they will be enslaved through this process, especially if digital currency is put in place, and that will mean that this system cannot be stopped. So it can't be to that point. Anyway, I'm waffling too much. PPE, let's show you the evidence. PPE Medpro Limited. So you've got a Morris Stimler linked to that company. You can see at the top there, PPE Medpro Limited. You can see where these links have gone through. Morris Stimler, you see at the top there, we've now linked through from Morris Stimler on the company's house records, registration records, and you can see he links to a JMH Trading Limited. Let's look at JMH Trading Limited. They were incorporated in 1995. Now, because there's such a close incorporation between directors with companies all intertwined, it means they can move money through accounts because they've already got this association, so they've got a personal interest in the companies themselves. And you'll find we need to get away from this system, because the MPs will have financial interest in companies, which lead them to make decisions for their own financial personal incentive and gain, rather than what is needed for the country and the people of the country, and very importantly now, the environment. But let's look at this incorporation document. So sorry, I can't really zoom in a bit. JMH Trading Limited. And if you look at this incorporation document for them now, this is the next page, you can see underneath the box here, it says that Michael Hope is signing on behalf of London Law Secretarial Limited. Now we'll come into that company because that's really important. And you can see on here, again, the incorporation document, the London Law Agency Limited of 84 Temple Chambers, Temple Avenue. Temple frequently pops up in my research. Look at all the videos through these companies. And that, I believe, is because there's a spiritual belief, or sorry, a belief system in relation to those at the top of this fraudulent system. And that's possibly through the Masonic lodges, or through a mixture of that and the Mithraism belief, which stemmed from Greek, the Roman Empire, and an Iranian religion. But anyway, I have no problem with anyone being whatever religion they want. I'm a Christian, I have been for around 4 years, but anybody can have whatever faith or belief they want, as long as they do not victimise innocent people, then that is fine. I think we'll all agree with that. We should agree with that. So London Law Services Limited. Now, I think I've been given this information for a reason. Now, when you do a search on that company, it comes back to this, the London Law Agency Limited. It's the only thing that comes back. But you can see it's different. It's got the at the end in brackets. Now, that will be, it's important that for legal documents such as this, all the wordings are exactly the same. So the companies need to have the same grammar, the exact same spelling. Otherwise, it doesn't become a legal document and legal entity. I was a police officer for 18 years, and I know quite a lot about this anyway. So that, I think they've deliberately created this record with a slight differentiation in the wording, okay, to enable them to not be held accountable for this, or to make it more difficult for them to be held accountable. So if that's deliberate, then it is a fraud offence. It's a crime under the 2006 Fraud Act. But we'll look at this company anyway. So they were incorporated in 1967, according to the records. Now, here we go. Here's the incorporation document for that company. It's called Ganvalon Motors. But Companies House records do not reflect that. They have no previous name for this company. On a lot of others, you'll see under here, actually, on the further down, it will have their previous company names. This company does not have that. But yet, here we are. Companies House records show it trading as this, registered as this, but it's incorporated as this. This is a crime. If this has been done deliberately, it is a crime, because it's not a legally trading entity and created correctly through the Companies House record system. And remember, all registration system. And remember, all companies, limited companies, have to register with Companies House correctly. Now, importantly, on one of the incorporation documents for that company, you have Jordan and Sons Limited at the bottom. Watch my other videos, but my original discovery in relation to this fraud stems from my company that was started up with Jordan's Limited, and also Swift Incorporations Limited. They are linked through to this company, Jordan's and Sons and Jordan's. And here we go again. You can see Ganvalon Motors. This does not even exist. If you search Ganvalon Motors, it does not exist anywhere. It is not an existent entity and should not, therefore, be part of this registration system. Jordan's and Son Limited, and here you can see at the bottom. So let's look at London Law. You've got other people linked to it. In a minute, we'll come to Jordan's and Sons. London's Law Agency, you've got John Cowdrey linked to it. You've also got Nigel Blood. Now, I believe some of these names are made up. This one in particular, it links through a lot of this fraud. And you'll find, because it's been an unregulated system, fake details have been used, and I believe been allowed to be used. Bearing in mind, this is from a evidential chain linking back from a baroness, okay, who's a lord, I believe, obviously. Then you would have thought all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, but no. This has been allowed to happen. So let's look at Jordan and Sons Limited. Okay, this is Vistra Limited. I mention these a lot because it all comes back to them. You can see that they were called Jordans and Sons Limited from 1965 to 1996. The same company, remember, that is on this incorporation document, which is dated 1967. Okay, so we know they are part of this fraudulent system in conjunction with Companies House, using the registration system to commit this fraud. There you go, 1965. This is the incorporation document. If I can zoom in, for Vistra Limited. Again, let's look at this. It doesn't even show, the Companies House Register does not even reflect this registration document, incorporation document, to that company, Vistra. They don't mention it at all. I've mentioned this on other videos. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself and you see this again. But look, these are the previous names for the company. This is the current name for the company. But here we are, linked through. So you link through from this to this document from the very same record is a company that does not even exist again. This is fraud. Now at the bottom you'll see there's Shaw and Sons Limited on the bottom. Hammerplug does not even exist, okay? Which means everything before is a fraudulent, non-entity, illegal system. This is just showing Hammerplug Limited. Look, it's all part on the same incorporation document. Hammerplug Limited. Hammerplug Limited does not even exist. All limited companies have to register with Companies House, and they haven't. Now let's look at Vistra, because they're key to all of this. Vistra is where everything is being centralised to. They're linked through to the international transaction system for all banks through the SWIFT system, SWIFT. Okay, they are linked through to the monetary system in the country. And don't forget, I've acquired fake bank documents in relation to Jordan's, which links via my company, which links through to Vistra. And the police, watch my other videos, and the authorities and the police have shown that they are allowing an immunity from prosecution for bank employees to produce and use those forged bank documents, which is a crime in itself. So you can see we have multiple offences of crime. We have the documents being produced, the documents being used in fraud, the falsification of Companies House records, the production or providing of false details by companies, false companies that don't even exist being registered. There's fraud all throughout this, and you'll see there's even forged documents. You can see where documents have been altered. It is unreal, and it's the largest crime in the history of mankind. Let's look at the history of Vistra. Vistra was established in Hong Kong in 1986 as Oil. That's interesting. And quickly grew its service offerings and expanded its geographic coverage. In 2011, Oil emerged with Vistra before completely rebranding as Vistra to Vistra in 2017. Now, Oil itself, oil companies, you'll see from my other videos, watch the Nicola Bully one, oil companies link back through this fraud, of course. There's so much money in fraud in oil. In 2023, BPEA EQT merged Vistra and Trictor in a $6.5 billion deal. So that was in 2023. It's now early January in 2024. So they have now merged with another company. The offshore 2020 was an annual market research conducted by Oil. The research focused on the key trends and future. So it's all related to offshore accounts. Now, I'm not saying Jason is involved in this. At part of the time I put this document together, he was the Vistra lead in the UK. I'm going to read you a little bit about Jason Burgoyne. I'm not saying he's directly involved in fraud. Regional Managing Director for UK, Ireland, Channel Islands, and importantly, Middle East. I've put this on another video as well. Sorry about this little bit here that's on there. Most noticeably as jurisdictions in offshore accounts in areas such as Cyprus, Seychelles, BVI, British Virgin Islands, Jersey and Hong Kong. Prior to Vistra, he was instrumental in the acquisition of Jordan's by Vistra and a key stakeholder in the successful reorganisation, relocation and integration of Jordan's into the Vistra family. Now what they're going to be doing is centralising all organisations involved in this into central companies, and then this fraud will continue. They'll try and digitise currency which means this fraud won't be able to be stopped. They'll get rid of cash, trying to get rid of cash. That cannot happen because it will enslave the public through this taxation system. And obviously, if people are being killed, which I believe they are, and wars are in relation to this, who knows what they will do against the public if this actually happens. Let's go back to Morris Stimler. Remember, he was linked back to PP Medpro. Let's look back at him. He's linked to a company called Loudwater Trading Limited. Here's Loudwater Trading Limited. See, they had an address. It linked in Wales. A lot of this goes back to Wales, and I think that's because you've got Companies House there itself. So I think when they've used addresses, they've just come up with an address in Wales a lot of the time. Loudwater Trading Limited. Now, importantly, if you look at my other videos, and you can do the research yourself, and I suggest you do in relation to this before it's all deleted, this address, 788 Finchley Road, is notorious for being used as an empty address that they're not even associated with to register companies with Companies House, okay? Which means you have no accountability in relation to any litigation to pursue the company or individuals within it for litigation, whether civil or criminal. It's very difficult to if you don't have an address that is suitable for service of any legal documents. And this is the incorporation document for that company that we've just mentioned. So you can see this is all linking back through. And again, of course, because it's all connected, it allows the ability for the money to be moved through these accounts. And again, temple secretaries. Already mentioned that. So let's look. You've also, there you go. You can see Temple Secretaries Limited was linked to Loudwater. Loudwater, again, you can see company directors linked to them. Links through from Morris Stimler again to the company called the Toon Studio, which is a previous company. They are incorporated and linked to Form 10 Secretaries FD Limited. If you look at my other videos, you'll see that they also link back to Jordan's. Now let's look at Michelle Mone herself. On Companies House record, she's linked to 12 companies, either previous ones, previously linked, or currently. Okay, these are all of those companies that I've got. You can see a company here called Ultimo Academy Limited. So she was in that company, a director for that company in 2002. That company is now dissolved. Michelle Mone, here she is, linked to the company. You can see from the tabs at the top. You've also got Michael Mone. I believe that's her husband. I could be wrong. Michael Mone. This is looking at that company now, Ultimo Academy. Their original name was Input Plant Limited. But only from July, again, this is what happens. They changed their name soon afterwards to avoid any accountability for any illegitimate activity or movement of money or tax evasion. You see, none of it's any good. 15th July 2002 until September. That's the only time they would name that, and then they changed their name, okay, to that company. So their incorporation document, let's have a little look. Okay, you can see there it is, Input Plant Limited. Now you can see that they were started with somebody from Oswals of Edinburgh Limited. Okay, of 24 Great King Street. Remember I said in other videos, King and Queen is regularly mentioned. This is the incorporation document for that company. And on it you can see Jordan's in brackets Scotland Limited is associated to that company. You've also got Oswals of Edinburgh on the bottom there. So they are associated to this company. Now let's look at Jordan Scotland Limited. They had at the time of this 7,348 either current or previous appointments. Look at Oswals of Edinburgh Limited. Over 17,000 either current or previous appointments. Let's look at Michelle Mone again, another company, MJM International Limited. Okay, it's dissolved. So she was part of this company. You can see that Oswals of Edinburgh again is linked. 1996 they were incorporated. Here you go. Here she is. Here's Michael linked to it. Her husband, I believe. Here's Michelle linked to it. An OBE at the time. Here's her incorporation document. MJM International Limited. Here's the incorporation document. We've got Oswals of Edinburgh involved in starting that company up. Okay, you've also got an address. Remember, Brecon. It's in Wales. Cardiff Companies House was is actually based there. And this document is in 1996, according to this. Now, if we look at MJM, was it incorporated? Let's just go back and make sure. I'm finding things all the time, inconsistencies with all of this. I haven't got it here. Right, so let's go back. So we know we've got Jordan's linked to it. Oswals of Edinburgh Limited. And remember, this links back Jordan's to Vistra, to centralisation of companies, and also where fake bank documents have been acquired via my company that's linked to those companies as well. Okay, Michelle Mone's other company is Sunpix Limited. Let's have a look at Sunpix Limited. There you go. It's showing that Michael Mone is linked to that company as well. They dissolved in 2018. They started in 1998. These are their incorporation documents. Here you can go see Sunpix. Now again, you can see Oswals of Edinburgh started it. Okay. Now that means that Jordan's was involved in that, and ultimately Vistra. Now, Michelle Mone's last company. This is very sad to see, unfortunately. But I'm going to have to do this. This needs to be fully exposed. The Prince's Trust Youth Business Scotland is one of Michelle Mone's previous companies. Now you can see that Michelle Mone was a director for that company from 2001 to 2012 when she resigned. Let's look at the Prince's Trust Youth Business Scotland. Prince's Trust Youth Business Scotland. There you go, same company. Sad that I'm having to do this. So July 2014, that company dissolved. It was incorporated in 1986. Now, it was originally called, interesting, Marine Technology Houston Limited. You can see it's the same company. Prince's Trust at the top there. So I've linked through from a document. The Marine Technology Houston Limited, but only from February 1986 to December 1987. Now, you can't see the incorporation document. Okay, so someone has removed or made it unavailable to view the incorporation document for that company. Now, that to me suggests they do not want people to see who is on that incorporation document in case it implicates them in this fraud. But it has got up here another document linked to the record. You see the Prince's Scottish Youth Business Trust Limited at the top. But let's go in through the people records. So you've got this person. Okay, General Major CBE Mark Strudwick. I don't know if I've said that all right, but it's here anyway. Prince's Trust, you can see at the top. Okay, let's look at Mark. So Mark was linked to a company called the Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo. And this is that you can see that they're an active company at the time. They were incorporated in 1990. They were originally called Noble Great Limited from November 90 until May 91. Noble Great Limited. Look at their incorporation document. Noble Great Limited. You can see that Jordan, again, is linked to that company. Oh dear. Really quite sad, isn't it? It doesn't have to be like this either, guys. Oswals of Edinburgh Limited is on the document as well. Again, you can see this is the incorporation document. Jordan Nominees is on there. Oswals International. Oswals Edinburgh Limited. Oswals of Edinburgh Limited. Jordan's again. Now, the Prince's Trust is a United Kingdom-based charity founded in 1976 by King Charles to help vulnerable young people get their lives on track. It supports 11 to 30-year-olds who are unemployed. This is looking at Wikipedia for it. Operating costs. The Prince's Trust is one of 100 largest charities in the UK ranked by expenditure. Prince's Trust charity and its traditional subsidiary Prince's Trust Trading Limited had a total income of 36 million, expenditure of 38 million. Now, I'm not saying Prince's Trust at all is doing it, but if fake bank documents are being used, then all these figures that are mentioned, it could be way more, because those documents could be used to falsify accounts for that company and the real figures sent to offshore accounts. So let's look at Prince's Trust International. They're incorporated in 2014. You can see linked from Princess Trust International is this person, and linked to them is Santander UK Group Holdings Limited. So we now have Santander Bank linked through to this system. I'm not saying they're involved in fraud. However, we've now got, remember, the police have provided a statement, an email confirming that they've allowed an immunity for those bank statements to be used, false bank statements, which is a crime, okay, as well as all the other crime we've mentioned, and allowing that to happen. And as I've said, and I keep saying, if that is causing a crime, a suffering, then it is a crime against humanity under the European Convention of Human Rights. And I believe people are suffering from financial difficulties. Standard UK Group Holdings PLC, a link through to it. Now, they were originally called so you can see Santander UK Group Holdings Nouveau Topco Limited, but only from September until December 2013. Why would you only have your company name for such a short period of time? Registered as that. Unless you were trying to hide something. Here you go. Here's their incorporation document. New Topco Limited. Here's their incorporation documents. You can see. You can see it here. And right at the bottom, on the documents for this company, lo and behold, Jordan's Limited, of an address in Bristol. It's very sad. Hopefully that will make sense. I've shown an evidential chain of a fraudulent system linking back from Michelle Mone, linked to this PPE scandal. This will be what this is all about. We need to get away from this system of allowing MPs to utilise this system of fraud to make decisions for the company. You'll have I'll show on our videos, vaccines are linked to this. The virus is probably linked to this. Death, destruction, you name it. The worst things are all linked through the system. It must stop. It can be stopped. Full regulated Companies House registration for all companies. Regulate and verify all details of everyone in relation to every company that's registered with them. They haven't done it, even though they were trading since 1844, because they've wanted this to all continue, and it will obviously create a disparity, huge disparity, an unfair disparity between the poor and the rich, and it will enslave the people unnecessarily.